Okay, guys, stick around. We've got another episode of What's Crackin' up today. Andrew with Maple Leaf Customs. Well, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of What's Crackin' today. We're going international. We have got Andrew Price of Maple Leaf Customs with us. Andrew, how are you doing?
Doing great today, David. Thank you so much for the invitation to join you. I've been enjoying this series you've started.
It's projects like this, Andrew, that really help keep my feet grounded.
Oh,
So getting a chance to do these and getting in touch with my fellow collectors, it means the world to me. And I thought this series, uh, I didn't know where it would go, but I'm really excited at where I think it could go, because what I'm enjoying is connecting with people around the world.
yeah,
And who doesn't love a good unboxing video, right? So
that's right.
we've got a few items that I thought you might enjoy after some conversation before I sent them. So what we'll do is start unwrapping the package, and as we kind of work our way through the box, we'll just have a conversation, see where it leads, and we'll do them, maybe one or two at a time. I've got some stuff that I think you might enjoy for your collection or future Maple Leaf Customs. So while I am yammering away, go ahead, start unwrapping, because I wrap it the same way every time, but unfortunately that means that
It's
means
a
it's going to
biggie.
take a while. Okay, while Andrew is opening the box, I'm going to show you his channel. You guys have got to go there after watching this video. Maple Leaf Customs is what you're looking for. Look for the Maple Leaf and just enjoy really professional videos, nice soothing music in the background, narrated by Andrew himself. He walks you through all his builds, and he does everything you can imagine: buses, sci-fi stuff, lots of Porsches, lots of supercars. Just one of the best diecast customizers in the world. Take a look at his channel. You'll enjoy it, I guarantee you. I think Andrew is just about done unwrapping the package, so let's get back to the video and watch the unboxing.
Okay, this one started with a couple that looks like
There
I
you
might
go.
have
Yeah, that might work.
hit the top this time.
Those were long overdue, Andrew. You should have had those on your mat 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
by the way, yes, nice holographic ones. Thank you very much. Good start. All right. Oh, there's more. A couple more of these.
So we've got the new,
Oh, there's the
uh,
diecast breakdown. I haven't seen
yeah,
that
that is our
before.
new release for the sticker for the show.
All right, good. Starting with the swag early. Business card. Very professional. All right. What would you like me to attack? I
Let's
see
look at you should have some
shirt.
of the first releases of the Twice Diecast merch. I hope you enjoy enjoy. These are, I joke as with someone else, I said they were the beta test. This is our first home made Twice Diecast merch with the new logo on it.
Look at that.
Um,
Am I holding that up in the right way?
you
I
got it.
can't see.
Looks good. Looks good. It's
Okay.
really cool.
Thank you for that. It feels like a very good quality one as well. You are guessing I'm an L? You're... All right. Good start. Got it.
Well, it's that. I'm glad you like it, Andrew. So as we get into the box, and you'll see, um, Andrew and I'm talking to the viewers now. We had discussed his um, difficulty in sourcing some of the other brands from around the world, specifically some of the ones here in the U.S. So
Yeah.
as we go through the box, you'll see he gets introduced to some brands, and if I highly encourage you, we're going to save that one for a little bit later. Um, encourage you to use these, Andrew, in some cool customs. I know you're not the collector in the terms of the way some people collect. You don't have shelves with loads of cars on them, and
No shelves, no cars, because it's not part of the Swiss culture, believe it or not. You want to
interesting.
find a one-to-one Ferrari, you look out my window that's shining brightly out of my A-frame attic hobby room, and in 10 minutes, you won't have to wait longer than that. But to find a 1 to 64 scale, I have to leave the country. We live right on the northern border and go across the Rhine River to Germany or France. And even then, it's going to be a dollar store and main lines. Uh, Diecast Dude has got the rest of Europe nailed down, and he seems to know the spots, but it's actually a ways away for me to get up to the Netherlands or his part
Yep.
of Germany and Belgium. So that's why I'm not a collector. Love you guys, watch your channels and enjoy it, but I simply don't have room to display. And if your wives allow you to put them all around the house, good for you. You found a winner. Um, Diecast cars would upset my wife's sense of feng shui. So,
All right, well, let's do this then. I want you to, yeah, let's open up a couple of these, and as you're doing it, why don't you introduce, if someone hasn't watched Maple Leaf Customs yet, and I say that because we're going to make sure everybody has a link. And you can
good.
see the link below. You can also see his logo right now. To go to your channel, Andrew, and see what Maple Leaf Customs does.
Mhm.
And then as you open, I want you to tell people what you do with your customs.
Okay, the first one, they're all unlabeled, so I'm just taking them
Yep,
from the top down, is a mini GT. First one I've ever held in my hands, Dave. I
yeah,
simply can't get them over here. And it's a 1 to 64. It's a Taycan, Porsche
absolutely.
Taycan Turbo S in carmine red. And I think I would have to watch again. When I did the diecast breakdown interview with you, you said, "Have you got every Porsche casting?" And I said, I doubt it. I have a lot of them, and they're kind of eBay wrecks, chewed by the
Right.
dog. Not too many brand new. And I think I said I haven't seen a Taycan yet, the e car. And Mini GT is just way above the level that I get. Do you want me to crack that
Crack it
right
open.
now?
Yeah,
Because
you got to hold it in your hand.
nothing is sacred to me over here, so I can.
Right.
All right, it's got heft to it, that's for
Right.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's much heavier than your normal mainline. Mini GT, made in China. You're not going to see that in the dark. That is one of the finest castings I've ever held. I really. You're going to laugh, but where I live, if I see cars on the pegs, it's a 98 euro cent
Right.
mainline,
Yep.
and I'm excited when I see one of those that's new, and they don't often get restocked. That's a beautiful color, and actually saw a Taycan on the road the other day. Porsches grow on trees over here in Europe. And so it's not an unusual sighting, but still, when I see one of the newer ones, it's a neck snap.
Well, I'm glad you like it. We interviewed Glenn, the president of Mini GT,
Saw that.
on Diecast Breakdown, and he's got a passion. He wants an absolute duplication
Perfect
of a car. Yeah,
replica.
a miniature replica. That's exactly what he wants, and I think they nail it. So I say we crack another one. I think you're
Nailed
gonna like the mix today.
it.
So while you're opening that one, I'm gonna ask you, would you care to tell the viewers what you are driving around the Alps in? What's your daily driver?
Oh, in the driveway.
Yep.
Okay, it's a 2007 Porsche Boxster. And don't get all excited. That's a pretty old car now. But I got it when it was, I got it in 17. It was 10 years old. And to no one's surprise, a Porsche owner takes good care of their car.
Right.
And they tend to flop them like everybody does when it hits 100,000 kilometers over here. And so it's not difficult to find a really good condition used anything. And when you think of Germany, think of Mercedes and Audi and VW and BMW and Porsche. It's supercar mecca. And so there's all kinds of deals. And part of the fun when I was shopping for that was just test driving a couple
Oh,
of cars
absolutely.
every weekend. And the test drive happens on the Autobahn. I'll see you in 20 minutes. And,
Right, right, right.
and you can put the hammer down with impunity, and people are very good drivers on the Autobahn. There's no recklessness. It's just fast. And so you can really put a test drive, Probefahrt, of Deutsch, a test drive. You can put the car to the limits and come back. And so I took out every different Porsche of every stripe before I settled on this, which was, in my snack bracket down here. It's far from a brand new 911 or a Carrera GT,
Right.
but it's mine. And so that's a daily driver, but I bought it for vacation purposes. I love to drive, and it's so nice here with the Swiss Alps are an hour to the south, not even that far. And the Black Forest, Germany, home of Hansel and Gretel and Little Red Riding Hood, is right across the border to the north. And the Autobahn, it's a great driving place. I got a
Up,
Johnny Lightning.
up next, Johnny Lightning. That is a new casting for them for that year of Monte Carlo. I thought you might enjoy some vintage Americana.
I would. 1980 Chevy Monte Carlo. You know what? I only have about 2 or 3 Johnny Lightnings. Now I've got 4. And those came to me like this in the mail, David, because I would never
Right.
find them over here.
You know what I
Well,
love?
what do you love?
Well, I love the wheels on that. The really well
They're
done white wall on that.
beautiful.
You know,
Yeah, it looks
while I'm thinking about it,
metal base on that.
I'm curious to know how important or how the right wheel choice is on a custom. Do you place the value on it that I do with mine?
Absolutely. I would put that up at number 1 in
Right.
the category of what has the biggest bang for the buck. So I'm very fortunate that SAMED has sponsored my channel. I was really surprised that they reached out like that. And so they just give me whatever they've got in quantity. And
Yeah.
I have a great choice. I just did a funny car a couple of weeks ago, and looking through my SAMED inventory, I had a nice big set of dragster slicks and
Yeah.
skinnies for the front. It was perfect.
Perfect.
And so if at all possible, if you're going to invest some money in customizing, I say get yourself a good stash of real riders or monoblocks. There's so many different manufacturers out there.
What should we anticipate and look forward to for Maple Leaf Customs in the rest of 23?
I just finished, and I think this will be in a week or two. Speak of nostalgia. This is a Red Lines Red Baron
Red
Hot
Baron.
Wheels, and it came to me in a mail call from Paul at Diecast Graveyard.
Yep.
And it was banged up. So I've just finished restoring this. And why this was very special is the first Hot Wheels that I remember having. This is a 1970. 68, I think. It says on the bottom. It says 69 on the bottom. And I got this and have always thought if there was a favorite, if somebody said, "What's your
Right.
unicorn?" I'd say Red
Red
Baron.
Baron.
So I just got that finished. That was a buddy build.
Absolutely. Well, let's
That's the way to go.
keep on digging. So far, sounds like we're 2 for 2 on the choices.
Oh, love them. Okay.
Always just a
Packed a
bit
little
apprehensive.
differently.
Oh yeah,
Here
there we go.
comes
There we go.
Tomica Limited Vintage Neo. Oh, this is pristine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
All right.
always notice the level of the glass on those. Look how clear.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see right in nice, beautiful tan leather interior. Now, here's something you might smile. One of the first things I noticed, there's no license plate there, but there's a gap, there's a spot for it.
Right.
And if at all possible, it's getting pretty micro small. I like to print an MLC custom license plate.
Absolutely. With the number on it, right?
And I get it. Is that right side up or upside down? Sometimes I can't even tell. And the hood badges, I like to get as detailed as I can. I can never reach this quality. This is pro stuff. Wow, you are nailing them here today. Going down for another one.
Rip it and rip it.
M2. And I got a little, it says Maui and Sons. Pristine. It looks beautiful.
They do
Now,
fantastic stuff.
Yep. My wife and I have a Wohnmobil, means a living, it's an RV.
Yeah.
An RV is a Wohnmobil, a life living mobile. And again, with not a real extreme winter, we're out year round. And you wouldn't believe me if I told you how many campers like this that you'll see parked at all of the sites we enjoy seeing all the different types of pop-ups there are. And that is a cool Ford Econoline camper van, a 65. Very nice. I like that one. I don't ever get them in such nice brand new condition, and so I look at it and say,
that's a
clean
palette. That is
put the sandpaper on this and strip it down, or what? That would be a shame.
I still think you could make it look better.
All right, we have an Auto World Premium Series, and it is.
I had to put a Corvette in there. I'm a Corvette guy. This is one of their newer C8 models.
I really want to get at it, but I don't want. Boy, be kind in your comments, everybody, because this is a kid in the candy shop over here in Switzerland.
No, once
and it's called Crack It Open. That's the name.
There you go.
Show.
That's it. That's what we're doing. We're seeing what Andrew is cracking.
He's cracking a C8.
There was such a scuttlebutt when that came out over here, Andrew.
Has it settled down? Because it was love or hate with the mid-engine, and it didn't take me long to say I like that. And
it's a great looking car.
I have a lot of Corvette castings. I just seem to have found a bunch. I like the older ones. That's because it's nostalgia, and that's what I grew up with. But you can't fault that for a sexy looking car. Well, beautiful.
Good. Glad you like it.
There are no misses here. All right, going for. I've saved the one you said for later. There's in my hand and in a box. Green light.
There we go.
And it is a Volkswagen Golf MK1 GTI 1983. Look at that. That's a cute little guy. I really like that.
And look at those wheels. You know, that's one thing I love about true 164. They don't try and cram wheel sets that are not proportionate to that car.
No, that's perfect. And GTI fans will look for the red grill, the red line around the grill. Big score on that. It's got a GTI badge. That's a lot of detail in a small little car. Look at how small the VW badge on the back of that. It's there. Okay, you know, my favorite color of a car, mine is black too, out in the driveway. Hard to keep clean,
Right.
but I think they look so cool.
They do.
Oh,
Listen,
magic tab.
you have taught a lot of us how to do better diecast customs. So on behalf of the community, thank you for that. Let's talk just briefly. What does customizing diecast cars do for Andrew? What are some of the benefits?
Well, it's a great hobby that it keeps your hands and mind active. And I like the minutia. I like art. I very much enjoy the computer end of it and the video editing. And for me, answer number one, it's probably nostalgia. Almost every car that I handle, including these. There's a Monte Carlo and the camper from my youth. I'm a 60s child, and the Golf that I learned to drive a stick shift in. It's a memory. And so when I get them banged up and old and in need of TLC, there's a great satisfaction to kind of, I often say, get it back into circulation, because it was left in a junk box and that ended up in a flea market somewhere. And that's where I find them. And if I can clean it up, great fun for me to do the job, make a video and post it. And I try to get them back into the secondhand store, the Goodwill shop, where most of them come from. And I have an agreement with the management that this is not for sale. It's not for profit for you. It's a gift from me, and it goes out. And so I like to think that they're getting played with. If it's not kid friendly, if there's stuff that will break off, I have some adult collectors around here, but I'll personally hand it to them. And so that's what it does for me. It brings back great memories. It's a wonderful hobby if you like cars and details and models and painting and creating. It's just great fun. Yeah. Therapeutic, really.
Absolutely.
Honestly. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Big box is empty.
All right,
and the first one I pulled out, you said hang on to that. Let's
hit this later. This one, I try to incorporate something personal and something that I make, so that I at least force myself to get into my shop. So I made this one for you, using some of your techniques.
Oh, I have techniques. All right, now I'm being very careful to get a good grip on this case.
I hope all the paint and clear coat was dry before I wrapped it up.
All right, it's still in bubble wrap, but I see a clue.
There's
good.
That's
good
pretty.
For you. How did you know?
I searched high and low for the car in your driveway, but I couldn't find the right one. This is a new casting by Hot Wheels. Yeah, this is their new one. It's right now it's only in a premium. It was the Cyberpunk 2077 Porsche.
No, I haven't seen that. This is helping me out. All right. So the livery was Cyberpunk?
Yeah, there was a video game livery on it, and I took it all apart, repainted it, resprayed it. I left the windshield banner. I love the wheels that they put on it. It's pretty close, isn't it?
Fuchs wheels.
Yeah.
Those are, bang on. I print these with a 3D printer. If I can't find a set, steal a set off one to put on another. Got the whale tail. I think that is the most beautiful auto silhouette.
I agree.
Ever.
I agree.
And if you give a crayon to a 7-year-old and say, draw a car.
Right.
You might get a Porsche 911 Turbo out of it. Hey, you did a bang up job. It's almost like a brushed steel that you
Right.
did
Yep.
on
That
that.
was
Well done.
well, thank you.
Headlights are done up there. The
Wraparound tail lamp.
tail light all the way around. Bumper guards. You know what? It's got Euro bumper guards on it. In the US, they have to put such gigantic
Right.
to meet the safety specs. Over here in Europe, not so concerned about that. David, that is very, very nicely done and will become a special part. Now, if I collect anything, it's when people send me a
Right.
custom and I have a laptop. I can't really turn around and show you. But the only little display I've got on top of my organizer boxes that hold the wrecks that I'm going to customize are customs. And for some unknown reason, people send me Porsches like this.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm glad you like it. Yes.
That's
All
my
right.
first one from Alabama. Um, fresh paint just today is a Mopar Dodge Dart, the first car that I owned. Bought it from my dad, was a Dodge Dart. Although it was brown with a beige roof and four doors, it was a boring Dodge Dart. There's a nice cool one, and I didn't have any plum crazy, but I mixed up the closest I could do, and I put some micro mirrors. You talk
Wow.
about getting
Yeah.
small with the 3D printer. When the resin is dripping off, the drops are bigger than
Than
the
the actual
mirrors.
mirror.
Is there a mirror? Yeah, there it is. So there's a touch of realism too. Very few castings come with side mirrors, do they?
Right.
So that one's going to come out in a couple of weeks. I'll put a Mopar stripe on the back. And if you want to, what's in the mind of Andrew, people send me pictures on Instagram or my Facebook page, just by email. Andrew, thought of you. Could you make this? And somebody sent this to me. It's obviously some kind of fantasy wastelands helicopter on a flatbed semi trailer. And I said, well, that's intriguing. Let me see what I've got. And I went through all of my Super Kings castings, and I've already cut down the trailer and put some deadly fork rams on it, and I'm going to upgrade the wheels. But I had to measure that and get it down to size, fired up the 3D printer, and I made a Huey
Look at that.
with a little
Boy, that
bit of firepower on the back. So those will go together. And this is going to be an exercise in weathering
oh,
for me, because
fantastic.
I thought this looked like a real kind of a Vietnam type
Mm-hmm.
look. So that's coming. I don't know when. Probably summertime. And
Off to a great start.
because shiny cars are hard. That's the toughest thing to stick the landing on. You got to talk about little license plates and side mirrors. And so these gaslands, wastelands are fun. And I like the fantasy ones. And somebody sent me this. I'm going to call that the Sky Train.
How about that?
I don't even know where it comes from. So get yourself a 3D printer. There's the diesel engine that came out, and I had to put a kind of a cabin on that. I added
Right.
to it. And then the bottom half, all the flying sci-fi jazz, I'll have to scratch build out of my junk drawer. So that's coming. And that just keeps
fantastic.
me from getting bored from going from a Charger to whatever, a Plymouth to a Ford, and fun stuff coming.
Absolutely.
And the only other thing that I've got on my desk right now, I might as well hold it up. This was a Jim Silva challenge, and he sent me a Matchbox K7 as the primary. You got to use that as the base. And I had a K7, And so I mashed it up like a gigahorse from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
And that video went out a month or so ago. And I said, Jim, I'd love to send it to you, but it weighs a ton. And there's so many little pieces. It would never survive the trip from Switzerland to California. So there it sits, and it's certainly not kid friendly. It's truly deadly. It's got too many pointy things
like
on
a
it.
puffer fish.
It's worse than that. And so yeah, I'll clear a little spot on a shelf somewhere because it's just something that would be hard to give away. It's just lots of fun and never a dull moment. And if anyone gets bored doing this, you need to just wake up your imagination and see what magic can come out of your fingers. And you know what? I'm no pro, but I do look back with some shock at 3 years ago, and I've left the videos up there many a time. David, I thought, yeah, if I just deleted 7 or 8 of those, nobody would notice. And I thought, nah, that's the journey. That's the video history. And those first 40 or 50 cars were pretty rough. It was a wheel swap and a paint job, but that's how you learn. You walk before you run. And so there's always kind of a goal to push yourself and do something different and new and make it a little bit better than the last one. It's such an affirming community. That's what I try to do when I send a comment out, and boy, you cast your bread upon the water and it comes back to you. So thank you to all of your viewers and to you. You lead the way with kindness and generosity, David. You really do. And there's so many great people out there that now look to me like one of the OGs. And I said, no, it's just the Porsche build was anniversary number 3. There are guys that have been out there for 8 years. I'm new, but there's such a plethora of new channels since I got started that some of them are looking up and saying, oh, wow, you've taught us a lot, and you've been very kind to say that. I'm just filming my experiments, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it's on video. Boys and girls at home, don't try this. It didn't work for me. The paint's going to peel off or blister. And it's just an ongoing fun episode every week, I hope. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in and helping and being very kind. I'm encouraged when I upload a video on Saturday my time, and you probably see it Saturday morning if I post it Saturday night, and I'm encouraged by the fine feedback and the camaraderie. And here you and I are having our second video chat and countless emails back and forth. David, I consider you a friend who I've never sat down in the coffee shop with, and you've made a promise when I get to Trustville. Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A's on me. Chick-fil-A's on me.
Whatever I want.
And when I sign up for my long-awaited Viking River cruise that will depart from Basel, I'm allowing 2 to 3 days to hang out with you and Petra beforehand. Andrew, thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad you said that you are, if I could paraphrase, just in some way passing on what others have taught you as you started your videos, and how you have noticed some of the younger channels that have started. And that's what I want to do as well, is help you. And I'll talk to the viewers now too. We're gonna introduce you to some of the other builders, maybe some of the newer channels in our community through this series. So I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of What's Crackin' with Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs. Andrew, I can't thank you enough. You just absolutely keep on doing what you're doing. Don't ever change, sir, because you are
great fun for me, and I'm glad you're enjoying it too. Thank you very much. I don't get to crack too many new packages like this. This was Christmas Day.
Well, we
me.
had to,
Thank
we
you,
had
my
to,
friend.
we had to crack it on what's cracking. All right, that'll do it for this episode, guys. Stick around for future episodes. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment below, and make sure you hit the link to Andrew's channel. And I will see you guys on the next video.
See you later.